You like that? You like that?
What's going on? It's Coach Williams, and I'm back for another breakdown. So today we are going to talk Trevon Diggs. So Trevon Diggs, it's been trending on social media that he's been having a really rough camp, but I want to put things into perspective. I want to talk context. I want to talk the good. I want to talk the bad. And I want to talk the ugly. So let's just jump right into this thing here, okay? So Trevon Diggs. He's lined up in man-to-man coverage here. You got to understand this is one-on-ones, okay? So one-on-ones is an offensive drill, right? There's no pass rush. The quarterback doesn't have to read anything, and there's no help over the top, right? So the offense is at a huge advantage. So you'll hear a lot of defensive guys talk about that and say you can't really glean too much from one-on-ones. I personally agree with all of that, but this is an opportunity to work your technique. And Trevon Diggs' technique is all over the place here, okay? So we don't get to see straight off the bat. You guys know I always start with the eyes on the hip. But as we'll see through the video, it looks like his eye discipline isn't bad. That's not the problem here, okay? So he's got his feet moving, okay? And this is a really good job by Lamb here. He's going up against CeeDee Lamb of when he throws the hand, he throws the proper hand. It's the opposite hand. When he throws the hand, Lamb knocks it away, okay? So now there's been separation that's been created, okay? So then if we look at Diggs' eyes, his eyes are down here on the hip, right? He's doing a good job of reading the receiver, trying to read his tempo and try to see where he goes. But he gets smoked down the field, touchdown, okay? Now, we'll go back here. Like we said, it's a good job of reading the hip, but what you have to do is you've got to close to the hip, okay? So what's happening is CeeDee Lamb here is chopping down and trying to make it look like he's going to drop out here. And Trevon Diggs is trying to guess and think that that's exactly what he's doing. What you got to do here is you got to close this distance regardless of what he's doing, right? Work laterally. Work like this. Get your hip into his hip. Jam him and squeeze him to the sideline, right? With your body so that you don't get a PI. But he's guessing and thinking, okay, since he's slowing his tempo, he's going to drop out, and that's fine. We want to keep up with the same tempo and stay on the same level as the receiver, but we also want to get into that cutoff position, right? We want to get into his body. He doesn't do that. There's all that separation, and if you give a receiver like CeeDee Lamb that kind of space, that is what's going to happen. So this is a way better angle and a way better view of things, okay? Now, I personally don't know who this guy is, right? So never heard of this guy. I can't even pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to say it. But it's pretty bad that you're getting beat by guys that are not, legit receivers that everybody would know about, okay? So the first problem here, look at the stripe of his helmet, okay? We can tell his eyes are not down here on this receiver's hip. They're looking this way, okay? I know some defensive guys don't care about this. Me personally, it is a massive pet peeve for me. It drives me insane. If we're in man-to-man coverage, so it's not zone, if we're in man-to-man coverage, why are you looking at the quarterback? We can tell from the stripe of the helmet he's looking at the quarterback. Quarterback's not going to help you out in man-to-man coverage. There's nothing you can glean from looking in here. Get your eyes where they need to be, down here on this hip. Okay, so the eyes to start are already in the wrong place, okay? So now he tries to go in and fake this quick jam, okay? That's fine. He's using a soft press. I like his feet, right? The receiver starts moving to the outside. Look at his eyes. His eyes are down here on the hip. That's a good job. And again, now he's reading the tempo of the receiver, but the same problem happens. Look at how much space there is here. Look at the separation. You could drive a Mack truck through this. Like, you have got to close to the hip and get into his body. And again, he's guessing here. He thinks he's going to drop out. Look at how he slows and chops his feet, right? He thinks that he's going to drop out. There's nothing about the tempo of this receiver that is saying that is going to happen, and he gets totally smoked down the field on a post route, right? He gets smoked on a post route when he already has inside leverage on the guy. And the separation is massive. Like, that's a problem. And it's because he's not getting into the body of the receivers. He's giving them way too much space. and he's getting beat down the field. Okay, so I do think that there is a degree of, people piling on and stuff like that and saying all kinds of stuff about him on social media that's kind of unfair. But at the same time, he wants to come out and try to say he was the defensive player of the year last year, that he should have won that. He wants to say he's one of the best corners in football. I personally do not think that. I don't think he's the best corner in football. I don't even think he's a top 5 corner. I could name guys for days that are better than him, like Jalen Ramsey, AJ Terrell, JC Jackson. I would even put the young Patrick Surtain in that category, Xavier Howard, Darius Slay. I can just keep going down the list. I think there's a lot of guys that are better than him. I think that he is probably a top 10 corner, definitely not outside of the top 12, but to say he's a top 5 guy or the best corner in the league is kind of crazy because his technique is not very good, gives up a lot of yards in coverage, and it's because he's not very sound with what he's doing, and he does what he did in this video. He guesses way too much. There's a difference between route anticipation and guessing. Route anticipation is being in the right spot at the right time, using your technique. And even if you're wrong, you're still in a good spot and you're going to be able to cover a guy. When you're guessing, you're just jumping routes because you think you know what's coming. That, in the long run, as we've seen him giving up 1,000 yards in a season, is not going to work. Okay, so I think he needs to improve his technique. If he wants to gamble the way that he's been gambling, he can do that, but can't put him in the category as one of the best corners in football. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll have more training camp videos. So as always, you know what it is. It's Coach Williams, Ball Hawks, we fly. I'm out. Peace.
I've made amends, called all my friends and said I made you better, that we changed more than the weather, but all good things end. And I play pretend and say I'm out forever, when we both know we would never win. I've made